Hey everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Sneidel. That is John Kutchko. We matched today, John. I just noticed
Absolutely.
that.
Got to go with the red tie.
I like
with the blue
that.
blazer.
You're looking good here.
It's all good.
Couple of quiet days as we start to move forward. That's your live shot. Our live sky ice still got snow, and you saw not only snow this morning, you had a lot of ice too.
Yeah, there's still considerable amount of ice on the Lake Ontario shoreline, depending on where you go. I was up by Sodas Point, not a whole lot there. The bay's frozen over, by the way.
Yep.
I did see some guys out there ice fishing. Got to be careful. By the way, I want to bring this up. New York State DEC, they have a set of guidelines as to what you should, you know, the depth of the ice.
Right.
You don't go on it unless it's about 4 to 5 inches, and only by foot. And then considerably more ice you can go on with an ATV. But it's so important to adhere to those guidelines, especially this time of year when you've had 4 or 5 days of frigid, and now you get some milder weather.
And I'm not even sure that we've had enough cold and a duration of cold that would make me want to go out on anything like that with my own body weight. And
no, I would be very hesitant. I watched the guys as they were measuring the ice. Every step they took, they stuck the device in, and it was about 3.5 to 4 inches where they were, so they felt confident enough.
Sure.
But man, it's, you know, it could be 3 inches in one spot and like paper thin in another. When
I was driving here, one of the little lakes near Durand Beach, I saw some ice hockey players on there, and I'm driving by thinking, I just don't know.
Especially on a day where tomorrow we could be sniffing close to 40.
Well, yeah, we're above freezing still right now. We didn't get a whole lot above freezing, but mid-30s across the area. Wind chills are not non-existent, but it's 28 in town. It really doesn't feel all that bad. Winds are out of the south, too. Temperatures as we go through the night tonight will fall back into the middle, eventually lower 20s, but we haven't had a whole lot of use for radar over the last few days, and it's still that way. John, this is our next weather maker. Snow, wintry mix, and rain. All three of those are coming our way as we go into the weekend. And you and I have been talking a lot about this, with where this is going to go. This is, again, not your prototypical January storm around here. No.
I mean, in a historically normal January, this would be a significant snowstorm.
It would be.
Mortal lock. Certainly not the case with what's in the forecast
No, I don't think so. The models, by the way, are spitting out about an inch of liquid equivalent. As if it would fall as all rain, it would be an inch. And if it was all snow, you know, if you do 10 to 1, you're looking at 10 inches.
Sure.
15 to 1 ratio, you've got more than a foot that'd be falling. Tomorrow morning, low 20s to start. Winds are still out of the south, so we'll go mix of clouds and sun. Highs into the upper 30s to around 40. Friday looks good, too. Mix of clouds and sunshine. We are dry. Mercury gets up into the low 40s. I think that's top of the mountain here. Friday's going to be the warmest one.
Right.
Let's get into the fun stuff. So this is our low on Friday. Watch what this does, John. We split this off into two. This doesn't happen by accident. A lot of times you've got a mountain range here, the Appalachians, and you get kind of two centers of low pressure that go. What very often happens, and will be the case with this one, the first one will weaken, that one fades out. The second one will strengthen as it makes its way across New England. Now, here's the problem with that. This guy on the west side, it still has some southerly flow with it. Remember, when these lows move by, the air around them rotates like this. So if we had just this one, if this was the only game in town, you'd be getting northerly winds, but it's not. We still have the remnants of this guy that are fighting with some southerly winds in there. That's what's keeping some of the warm air issues at play. And this is why I still suspect here, John, this is going to be a little bit of everything into the weekend.
Sure.
It's the Euro model that we've got on loop from Saturday into Sunday. So it's going to snow this weekend for almost everybody. But for a lot of you, especially if you are not in one of the higher elevations south of town, you will have rain periodically mixing in that is very much going to eat into any kind of snowfall accumulations. That being said, across those higher elevations, in spots that end up getting primarily snow out of this, this is going to be a heavy, wet, accumulating snow, probably a plowable snow. We were talking about you maybe going to Letchworth. Places like Bristol, I think, would be in that
Bristol,
category.
Canadice, Springwater, the south end of Honeoye Lake.
I think so.
The south end of Letchworth State Park, where you go into areas like Nunde, Portageville. Certainly, I could expect, you know, if it's an elevation deal, which it sounds like it will be, then I could see, you know, a decent amount of snowfall there.
I think it's elevation and proximity to the lakeshore. I think the closer you are to Lake Ontario, the warmer you're going to end up being. And the lake's still not frozen outside of just, you know, maybe a football field out.
Sure.
And that's about it. But I will say this here. This is the kind of storm system that has a lot of high potential with it and what we call high bust potential. You know, we can go with a forecast here by Friday. I could see us telling a few folks, you're going to get more than half a foot of really heavy, moisture-laden snow. And very easily, that could miss. And in some places, it would be the opposite. We say, you're going to probably miss, but you're off by a degree, and you get a surprise. You wake up by Sunday morning, and everything is winter wonderland. That's the teeter that we're on right now.
Are you telling me we're going to get a nothing burger?
I'm telling you, I think there's going to be parts of the area
I wanted to say that.
that will get a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know, and I talked to some anglers today who have been dying to go ice fishing, and they're at Sodas Bay, and they're just miserable because they just haven't had. But then again, over time, and I talked to some guys who've been fishing for 50 years up there. They said normally they don't do it until about the 3rd week in January anyway. So it's a little strange. In some way, things are kind of the same as they've always been. But I can tell you, those folks,
feel like it.
They like to snowmobile as well.
Yeah,
and, you know, you got to go well east to do that.
Yeah.
You got to go into Wolcott. You got to go to Oswego County. You got to go up to Tug Hill Plateau to enjoy snowmobiling. And it's just frustrating for those who are really into the winter recreational sport.
And it's interesting, too, and I posted both of these on my Facebook page. We do temperature outlooks that go out 6 to 10 days. There's an 8 to 14. The whole United States is running warmer than normal. There are no Arctic intrusions. In 14 days, folks, takes us all the way into early February. Now, that does not mean we're not going to get snow.
No,
Oftentimes, being slightly warmer actually favors more snow. But if you're looking for just that depth of cold air that we have largely not seen this winter, it ain't happening, John, for the next few weeks.
I have to believe mid-February, around there, we're going to get clobbered. I'm still waiting for the big one.
Yep.
The big one came for me on December 5th when I went to Taconic Falls in Trumansburg, and they got 14 inches of snow. We haven't seen anything like that.
No, we haven't. And I do think, this is just speculation, but I do think this is going to be a really interesting and eventful late February and March.
As it always
is. I think that's kind of the setup with a pattern like this. We're not going to do accumulation maps because, frankly, we don't know at this point. We still have a ways to go before that. But what I like to do is kind of show you who's got the highest chance for the biggest impact out of this weekend. We can almost segregate here where are the bullseyes for the better likelihood of accumulating snow. And this is how we do it. We'll draw it from roughly a Wyoming, Geneseo to Canandaigua, Seneca Falls line and points southward. The higher elevations of everybody in that deeper orange color have the best chance of having some problems with the snow. The farther north you get, the lower the likelihood that it's more snow versus rain. Right along the lake shore, I think it's probably more rain versus snow at this point. But I do think this is one of those weekends where this is a long duration event.
Yeah.
It's going to be doing it all Saturday, all Sunday.
This much I know. And folks, as you're watching this on your device, behind the credenza here, right there is the Letchworth Railroad Bridge. And that's higher elevation. That's where I'll be.
And it even says it right there. It's right under the higher word.
That's my spot right there on the east side.
I think that's going to be a good spot for you with what we're seeing now. But, you know, it's Wednesday.
Sure.
We got a long ways for this forecast still yet to go. 20s for the rest of the evening, so really no problems here all the way through Friday. The weekend is the main game in town. I think we go back to kind of seasonable stuff going into early next week with maybe a slight lean toward warmer as we start going beyond that. But, yeah, this is the weekend cycle that we are on. We'll see. It's a messy setup.
I look forward to talking about this subject, this system, this time tomorrow.
And we're going to be doing it every day at this time this week.
Look forward to it.
We'll see you guys.
All right, take care.